All right, a pleasant good morning to you coming from Tony'sPicks.com. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to Night Moves here for Sunday, December 21st. We're going to have a pretty big day here. I don't know if we can top the action from yesterday. We'll get plenty of games and try to do it as we get ready for the show here on uh, Sunday. Thanks for joining me. We're going to preview all these NFL games. We got NBA, NHL, college basketball as well. What a night last night. I don't know if we're still over what we saw and what happened on Saturday. I mean, especially when it comes to the NFL and maybe even a little bit of in the college football playoff. But what about the Bears pulling off that incredible 22-16 win in overtime? They went for it. They went for the big ball. Ask the question. I mean, I cringe when we get the how do you feel? Why did you go for no problem? I love it. Going for that big ball. Just ask them, why did you guys go for that big? You were crushing them, running it down their throat, could have ran it in there. It was a windy night for sure to kick those field goals. I mean, Santos, he's not exactly Mr. Strong of foot, and he was able to bend a few in there. I thought the kickers looked great in that win, but asked the right questions there. But man, they flipped the board there with the onside kick. Green Bay led 16-6 with 3 minutes left in regulation. It looked like they would have it, right? But then it just unraveled with Chicago executing the rare, perfectly timed onside kick. A little bit of hesitation doesn't hurt when it comes to the Pack in that one, and then they cashed in to force overtime there with that late touchdown, and then the 46-yard touchdown strike to DJ Moore. So look, the Bears took advantage of every break. They knocked Jordan Love out of the game with a concussion, even with Green Bay running the ball effectively in the game. Then Malik Willis came in there 9 of 11 for 121 yards. He almost got knocked from the game as well. The momentum just never returned to the Packers. And no, look, they lost their sideline heaters, right? While the Packers, the Bears sideline heaters kept working, and the Packers did work through the moment, but the Bears needed every single way they could get it. I mean, they had 10 penalties for 105 yards, but now they're 1.5 games clear in the NFC North with 2 weeks left. So massive shift there, especially for futures bettors, because the Packers are going to have to play from behind, uphill climb when it comes to the postseason. And the Bears, man, I thought my Chargers were cheap shot artists, but the Bears are pretty good too. And but meanwhile, in Washington, the Eagles handled the Commanders 29-18. Cashed those tickets with authority. Philadelphia clinched the NFC East for the second straight season. That's a big deal, right? It hasn't happened in 21 years. So it was domination for the Eagles. 207 yards on the ground, outgained them by 160 yards, and only 9 third downs all game. So Washington continues to be an auto fade. 2-7 ATS in their last 9. All they could do was pick a fight at the end of that one, and their 12-win season is long in the distance now, and Philadelphia owns these guys anyways. 13 of the last 16. We did have the winner in the Packers-Bears under here last night. Say hello to everyone in the chat. Get moving with the show. Thank you for waiting for me here. Just a big card, man. I'm trying to get it all ready, so we have some decent previews anyways. Jimmy Chushu, hello. Viral Industries is here as well. Jerry, look, I was like, boy, I mean, what's going on with this line? You should have known with Harden coming back and the Lakers were just no momentum. Will it be a change? Will it be enough for the Clippers to keep it moving? The Lakers were sound asleep there last night. Cal Dog as well. Ron Jeff in the chat, thank you for being here. Mr. Wesker is ready to roll. Mr. Weskers, how much did Mr. Weskers get paid on the Draymond ejection? I mean, It's always Draymond, isn't it? It's always you, man. It's not us. Okay, it's not the rest of the world. We're out to get you. Uh, Dobbs. Look, these guys, the Packers were just as unlucky as you can get. You look at NFL conspiracy theorists. I mean, between the Seattle game and the Bears game, I mean, they're having a field day this week. And yeah, I was a little steamed for sure. They're almost in the result there. Anyway, like I said, we did have the under there in the game here on the show yesterday, but uh, you know, I liked the Packers in the game. Hector Numba's here as well. Good to see you guys in the chat. Andre's here as well, Mr. 4600. Thank you. We're going to have a fun show here. Man, we got a lot of games. I hope I got it all straight. I hope I can get this show off here. Lakers were never coming back, right, Hector? Man. The way I just thought, these Clippers are so dysfunctional that they're going to keep losing here like this, right? Thank you, guys. Good to see you all in the chat here. Mr. Miho as well. Hope I got through them all there right now. Let's just a few more notes here, really, on last night because I want to talk about the college football playoff as well. Miami over Texas A&M in a wild 10-3 defensive game. My man Keontae Scott back in there for Miami, and the game was scoreless at halftime, but underplays never threatened there in that one. We did have Miami here on the show last night. They drove 86 yards for that touchdown with 1:44 left. They were outgained, but they won the turnover battle. They had the defense, and they'll go on to face Ohio State. They'll go on to face Ohio State there in the New Year's Eve game there in Dallas. So Miami moves on in the college football playoff. They'll be a 10-point underdog, total 42.5. Ole Miss made it easy for us with the crushing 41-10. We were on Ole Miss last night. The Rebels scored touchdowns on their first two drives, kind of made it look easy. Average 10 yards per pass. They are a total downfield team. That's what you gotta love about their secret chances here a little bit. They are not afraid to throw that ball down the field. And the 24th third quarter points, they'll take on Georgia. Georgia's a 6-point favorite, 56.5 in the Sugar Bowl on New Year's Day. And finally, wasn't a bad beat. Oregon looks strong, but they let JMU get the cover there last night, 51-34. They led 34-6 at halftime. They were crushing them big time, 48-14, and allowed James Madison come back and get that back door. The Ducks ran for 200 yards, but Barnett was not done. And there's some calls there, whatever. Oregon will face Texas Tech. Oregon's a 1-point favorite, total 52.5 in those other three college football games there. Okay. Let's get to it here right now and get to the previews. It was an exciting day in college basketball too, wasn't it? Man, some upsets in there, but we got to get to the previews right now and get rolling with the games, don't you think? I mean, we're going to be on this NFL card here forever. So let's get to it here in the National Football League. Get your plays ready. Get your pens, picks, and rotation orders ready. To pick Trav. Nice to have him here in the chat. Look, I felt like they got kind of, from the injury, right? Man. Reed, threw that pick there at the end of the game. Amazing, the offenses couldn't move the ball, but in the last 2 minutes, they both kind of went down the field. All right, let's get to it, says Andre. I'm ready. And let's get going here. I'm sorry. Don't forget, head on over to Tony'sPicks.com And check out our premium picks, absolutely our best picks every day over at tonyspicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 15% off those premium pick packages. We'll visit the website here once we get a few more viewers in here. We're a little slow starting here. I kind of wanted to delay it a little bit, but we got nearly a couple dozen of you in here right now. So let's go ahead and go and start this one off. All right, the Buffalo Bills are going to take on the Cleveland Browns here. NFL action for Sunday. Buffalo just keeps winning. They keep getting enough points to get these wins. Look, the offense is fine. I mean, when you got the king out there willing to do it, it's just that sometimes they get a little spoiled here. It feels like you can't always finish the job once inside the red zone, but when it counts, it does. As long as they get upwards of, obviously their team total here in the mid 20s. So as long as they can reach that, they're going to be, be able to win this game. But will they be able to cover? Really, Cleveland's shown no ability really to survive once they allow teams to put up a few points on them. But the Browns, they're kind of a turnover machine, but the defense kind of keeps them in games. So they're barely running the ball at enough clip to try to think they can cover double digits here, but it is a really weak spot for Buffalo, it feels like, coming into this one. Buffalo 10-4, riding high right now with 3 straight wins. And Cleveland's lost 3 straight. This is one of those that just, be careful what you think about this one right now. It feels like Cleveland's home underdogs here, of course, are tempting with some of the numbers here, short term and long term. And if they bring that defense at home, look, this is probably their big game now here, it feels like, with the playoff-bound Buffalo coming to town tonight. Yeah, the Bills are in. I mean, come on, haven't clinched yet, but they'll get there, even just with the win here in this one. Their form, though, Cleveland is ugly. It's going to be a tough underdog to want to root for here, but, man, I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns in this one. Buffalo's defense and very disciplined, and Cleveland's inability to score does make it a rough ask, but just feel like the spot is for Cleveland. They are just 4-7 against the spread as an underdog, but they do have some positives going their way long term in these spots. Got Sanders in here, of course, so let's see what you have in the chat. Just 3-8 against the spread in their last 11, but 10-7 as a dog. Buffalo's won 5 of the last 7 in this series, but they've lost 3 of their last 4 trips here into Cleveland. There are some comments in the chat from you guys here. Let's see. All right, Mr. Wesker is ready to go with the Bills here. Hector's on the Bills. Bears always find a way. Oh, Greg's talking about that other game. Miles, that's what you got to think that you're going to have Miles wreaking havoc here a little bit. Bills money line and under for Andre. Cal Dog's going to take the Bills down. Maybe they're to 9 points just to make sure he gets under that 10. Cook and Kincaid for touchdowns. Timmy wants a Kincaid touchdown as well with the red zone. And let's see, with two picks Trav, I like him here. Let me look at that TV setup there. 2 picks. Like what I see right there. It's like a baseball and a football game at the same time. I can't really tell. Okay, let's see. Tricky spot, Buffalo at Cleveland. You could double your money with the Browns lead the first half. Browns are tanking. Garrett likely to force Allen into a scrambling touchdown. Here's Bills for Ron Jeff. Bills against the spread. Mr. Wesker says here, it should be a no-brainer, he says. Cleveland's defensive profile. Sanders answers with another big game, gets the cover, says to pick Trav. And Timmy says Shador gets his rushes as well. No one picked the total, so maybe I'll go with the total. Looks like some discrepancies in the chat. Greg here obviously likes Cleveland in this one. And the Bills get after Sanders, and the Bills score those points. I think that I'm going to go over in this one as my pick on night moves. Like I said, there's a lot of Cleveland in there, a lot of Buffalo in there, so I'll take the over. I didn't see many people on the Greg's on the over here, obviously. All right, Buffalo is 2-5 to the under on the road so far, but I'm gonna take the under in this one. The over in this one. Sorry about that. Over. Well, we're going to preview all the NFL games, that's for sure. Even this one between the Jets and the Saints. Try to find some positives here, but these guys, the Jets, continue to spiral. They've lost 4 of their last 5 with blowout losses kind of mounting up here a little bit now all of a sudden, and a turnover margin that has really put them in some of the bottom categories all over the place. And now they've got an undrafted rookie quarterback here on the road. Look, he looked better. He looked this much better than a undrafted rookie quarterback, but against the Saints defense that look, this is a tough situation. Saints come in here having won 2 straight right now, and they're licking their chops. Look at how that spread went up to 6.5 here. Probably for a reason, it feels like for me, especially going up with a team here 0-9 when they can't put up any points here. Talking about the Jets in a poor offensive run here for sure. New Orleans hasn't been explosive necessarily, but they've stabilized their season a little bit considering they were 1-8. They're 3-2 in the last 5. And, they're kind of playing some tough, hard-nosed football here. So I think that's 6.5. I'm probably interested in going with New Orleans here to blow them out. I think that 2-point move here on New Orleans, it's going to be tough to, want to consider it because of that late move in the point spread. But I think there's be limited possessions here. If the Jets make any mistakes at all, the Saints can capitalize. Let's see if there's anything in the chat with you guys in this one. Interconference game here, Jets and Saints. All right, Saints for Mr. Weskers. And Jets and under for Andre. And let's see here. Hector says, yeah, we got Brady Cook and Tyler Shuck in this one. But probably shouldn't even spend too much time on it. But here's Cal Dog on the Jets. Shuck touchdown for Timmy Two Shoe. Maybe Dart in his game as well. And let's see. Third stringer on the Jets, not ready. Jets points and under for Andre. Saints cover. Jets tanking for better quarterback here. And let's see. Any other in this one? 2 picks, Trav. Saints could pick up young quarterback, makes the plays, score TDs, and they cover. I'm going to take the Saints in this one to cover 6.5 points against the Jets. Battle of cellar-dwelling teams here pretty much in this one. And we got another one coming up here. 2 teams not going anywhere with the Vikings taking on the Giants here on the road. Vikings by 2.5, 43.5. Of course, the Vikings have won a couple games in a row here all of a sudden. Wins over Washington and Dallas. That's okay. They won them and they covered. So Giants have failed in their last 2 games coming into this one. So you're still going to lay some points on the road with these guys. The Giants did look pretty bad there. And KOC continues to get these guys up, even though they're out of the playoff picture right now. It's kind of the theme with this Vikings team under O'Connell. They really are streaky. The losing streaks do them in, and then the winning streaks come in. And they've obviously been better than this right now that they're not going to the postseason. But look, they found their offense, cut down their margin for error a little bit with McCarthy. The Giants are in full disarray. Basically the coaching upheaval this season and an 8-game losing streak. and they continue to kind of leak points late in the game as well. So it's going to be tough if you want to try to get on the Giants. It feels like here right now. Uh, yeah, Giants are 7-6 against the spread as underdogs, but they haven't been covering here of late. These teams are kind of going over here. Giants 4-2 to the over at home. Vikings 4-2 to the over on the road. Uh, Minnesota's road favorite uh, profile is strong against the spread, and New York's inability to do anything late, it feels like, on offense, I think kind of gives a Vikings an edge here, but I'll probably look to the total in this one. I think 43 is low for me, 43 and a half. I'm going to go over with the Vikings and the Giants here. Maybe I'll reevaluate the side a little bit, but um, feels like the Vikings are playing a little bit of ball here late. Maybe on the road it will be tough for a bad team to cover points on the road. But let's see what we have in the chat in this one. Hector really loves he says Vikings money line big time here. He likes this one a lot. Viral Industries also Vikings on the money line. Here's Andre, Vikings money line and over. Greg's got it right on the money there. Hector says if McCarthy's in the game, they'll take care of it. But Mr. Weskers wants that plus money at home. Giants, looking for a win for sure with Dart. Vikings might come to get him. Vikings got the better defense, says Andre. He's got Jefferson for a touchdown. Cal Dog liking the over with me. And let's see here. Two pick Travs liking the Vikings there, it looks like. Is he liking the Vikings? He says this line's going to even move up to 3.5. You better get on it now, I think is what he's saying. All right, good. Well, let's just move on from that. These big card, you got these ugly games. Let's get to a game with a little meaning here for sure. Not, it's not pretty necessarily with Tampa and Carolina. Both teams coming in 7-7 right now, but such a crucial game, first of two between these two. And you got the Bucks, currently in fourth. You've got the Panthers. On the outside looking in. The winner of this set of two games is going to be, the division winner, and they're going in, and the other team is not. That's pretty much the way it's going to be with these two. So can Tampa kind of get over the hump and still keep their crown in the South, or has Carolina done enough here now? And look, Tampa's lost 2 in a row. At least Carolina's won 2 of their last 4. Tampa with losses to New Orleans and Atlanta in the division at home. That cannot feel good. Meanwhile, Carolina did have that big win over the Rams. They did lose to the Saints on the road. That cost them. So huge game here. Tampa favored, and you'd think, right? I mean, has Carolina done enough? Why would you send Tampa out there as a favorite again when Carolina has closed the gap? It feels like so much here. Yes, they are trailing right now, technically in the standings. And, if you look at the metrics, Tampa still is kind of the team to beat to win the division here. But Carolina's been such a dramatically improved team this season. Isn't this the one they're at least supposed to hang in there, even if they go into the next game and can't win on the road? Or does Tampa Bay put a big stamp on it right here on the road, laying 3 points? Going to hear from you in the chat in this one, but the urgency is palpable here with the rematch looming in 2 weeks. Tampa Bay's recent losses have been narrow. Defense does travel. I get that they might, be, but I don't know if they're the stronger defense necessarily. And as long as they can hold Carolina here, what's their team total here, right? 22.5, 23. They hold them under that. Maybe they can get there, but Carolina's scrappy at home. Tampa does have the dominance in the series, no doubt about it. And strong road spread trends in the division. But, man, let's go to the chat here before I make the pick. But is it Tampa Bay's division still, or has it shifted? Okay, here we go with you guys in the chat in this one. Mr. Wesker says he doesn't know if this one has more meaning than the Vikings and the Giants and the Jets and the Saints with our 2 7-7 teams. Greg does like the Carolina here to cover, it looks like. Okay, I think Cow Dog's on Carolina there. I think that's supposed to be Bucks, Carolina Bucks, so I'm not sure who he likes. Bucks are better. Injuries, though, says Hector. Panthers cover in a heartbreaking loss for a banged up Bucks team. Evans, though, looks ready to go here, but they can slow him here. Like Buka TD, maybe Bucks get it done and over, says Andre, or Evans TD, Bucky TD here. He likes these TDs with the Bucks to get it done. Bucky's back too, right? I mean, that's been a pretty good sign for the Bucks. A little bit overlooked with the Irving kind of looking strong there. Evans over in his receptions. He does look good here. Trav says good dog to catch Tampa. The offense is falling apart. Bryce Young is waking up, showing he dramatically improved for Young this season, getting good coaching from Canales. And look, the Buccaneers, they've definitely been giving some away here. They played some tough teams though too. They lost to the Rams and to Buffalo here, but Bryce Young isn't. If you had another option, you'd probably move on. But okay, Mr. Wesker says that maybe the Bucks will be fired up. The Bucks they're still banged up for sure, but they do have some healthy guys. They've been getting some players back. The skill players have been coming back. The O-line still having some issues, right? I think Hector likes it over. Greg says Tampa win, Carolina covers. Panthers cover here for Greg and for Viral. And let's see, maybe Mayfield over down there. All right, I'm obviously on the Panthers here in this one. Doesn't mean the Buccaneers can't come back in that next game, right? All they have to do is basically, to me, win one of the two games is what it looks like, right? Because you got basically, even if the Panthers win this game, they're only still 40%. So Buccaneers will still be, I think, in a little bit of control with one of the two wins. I think Carolina depends because the Lions are in the mix a little bit as well. So there could be basically though you got the Packers sitting in 7th right now. They're the team on the true bubble. So okay, Carolina could win. I'm taking Carolina in this one. I think the Sharps are on the Bucks, so in that game. All right, two more non-playoff teams, believe it or not, the Chiefs taking on the Titans here. Man, it fell apart quickly here for the Chiefs, but don't give up on the Chiefs necessarily after this, right? Remember, Tom Brady won 3 Super Bowls, tore his ACL, came back and won 3 more Super Bowls with the Patriots and another one with the Bucks. So Mahomes isn't done. The Chiefs aren't done. They're done this year. But maybe this is a Tennessee spot because of that, right? It does feel like the Titans, as difficult as it has been this season, they are getting a couple of points here. KC will not be explosive here at all. They're probably still an extremely reliable defense, but especially on the against the run here, Pollard though has been strong of late. But the Chiefs games are kind of turning into fist fights here a little bit, rock fights maybe. This one's going to be a pretty low-scoring game. Feels like an ugly game here. Tennessee continues to lose at home. Doesn't really have any offensive consistency with Ward, but they're probably going to be in a good position here to be able to be competitive, I would think. Chiefs do have recent team total unders, and we've been hitting these unders big time with the Chiefs even before this, but they're going to be really hard-pressed in this one with probably a slow, methodical game with these teams just trying to figure out how to move the ball with Minshew in there. So not many comments here maybe in this one, but we'll see if Minshew can get it moving here a little bit for Kansas City, this one's going to be pretty tough for the Chiefs here even on the road with Rico in there at quarterback. All right, here we go into the chat and see what you got here with the Chiefs and the Titans. Titans cover the 2.5, says Viral. And we saw Reed. Man, that mustache is in playoff form, though. Chiefs and under for Andre. Chiefs have the pride and the talent. Yeah. Do they have the motivation? It's tough it's tougher for the teams with expectations, I think. Points over for Hector. He says Cam Ward is the factor. He says Minshew is decent. Okay, Casey's going to use Pacheco, get these skill players going. He's got Hector says he likes Minshew for 3 touchdowns. I'll light these guys up. I mean, why even? They don't even need Mahomes. They would have benched him for this one. If Rico gets 3 touchdowns here, we got a story. Gibson here says he's got the Chiefs to roll as well. Cal Dog says this one will go over. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going over. I'm going to take the under, I think. I'm taking the under as my pick. I want to go with Tennessee, but let me go with the under. See if we can't win these games here on Night Moves. Andre Hunt touchdown. Kelsey over in his receptions. Titans safeties better be practicing 2-pick. Trav says Ward pass over in his passing touchdowns. Just watch for the running game here. It feels like of Tennessee. That's the way I'm kind of looking at maybe the way the Titans can get this one done a little bit and maybe even get a win here. 2-12 coming in. We all know, but Kansas City 1-4 ATS on the road, 4-8 ATS as a favorite. Okay, interception for Gardner. A lot of support for Ward in there. Titans, says Timmy. Okay, all right. Let's keep it moving. That one not great here. Let's go to my Chargers. Oh, boy. So talk about a thump here, right? Cowboys find out last night that their season is over, even if the writing was already on the wall, but they officially learned there in the game yesterday that the Cowboys now know that they are eliminated from the postseason. The Chargers come in here having won 3 in a row. The offense is solid, but the defense is really clicking for the Chargers here. They're 3-0 against the spread as an underdog this season. Meanwhile, the Cowboys just 2-5 as a favorite here. Chargers have just a 2-4 ATS record on the road, but the Chargers are winning close games and doing so even though the offense doesn't really look in rhythm. They should have the personnel, it feels like, with their a running game a little bit with Hampton now back in the fold. Vidal gives them a little bit of mix, but just give the ball to Hampton. Let this guy work a little bit. Cowboys here, turnovers are their biggest concern, and the Chargers thrive on tight games and forcing turnovers big time. So I think there's a lot of strong trends to the under with the Chargers this season and this defense. I think they might be able to keep these Cowboys down. That total is big, man. 50.5. The Chargers are playing some defense, and their offense isn't necessarily in rhythm. It feels like, right now I'm supposed to be the Charger correspondent here. So head to head, these teams are low scoring, but they don't meet that often. So I think this one is a possession by possession game, a little battle of field position, I think. So let's see what you have here. I'm going with the under for sure in this one. Want to take, I think that as the Charger correspondent, I think we can win this one. I'm going to make my official pick though here on the under. But look, Might be homering it up a little bit, but Chargers are in good position, man. Still want to win, even if they lose. I mean, they're still quite likely to make the postseason, but if they can get this win, they're in pretty much. And the Cowboys are done. What do they have to play for here? Okay, let's see here. Cowboys money line for Hector. Mr. Westwood doesn't trust Herbert right now, but that hand is getting better. Cowboys. Greg, Cowboys here to cover. Only Andres with the Chargers here. Viral says the Chargers take care of business. And Jerry says 0-7 this year. Check your records, Ramon. 0-7, 0-7. I'm not sure, Jerry. Obviously, talking about one of those crummy teams there. What are they at? Home record 0-7. Is that it? Let's see here. Chargers got that good pass defense, right? And they got a chip on their shoulder. Like I said, I think the Chargers are the dirtiest team in the league. I don't know. Jimmy says Cowboys here. Chargers don't look that good on the road. They're 4-2 straight up on the road. And Hector, I agree with that, Hector. I think he gets the best out of these guys. Herbert's underachieved, though, so far with Harbaugh, which is, you meant Jim Harbaugh, of course, but, doesn't seem like Herbert is looking, you'd think under the tutelage of Jim Harbaugh, but I think it's more the offensive line. This is the one problem that the Chargers will have in this game. Herbert's going to be under a lot of pressure again. Viral says, don't go under in this one. Oh, I am. I am going under. I'll take my lumps if I'm wrong on this. Cowboys are better, just a mess. Yeah. Chargers, if they could have a home field, they might even have a better record. They're 10-4 coming into this game. It hasn't been a tough schedule. Timmy, I'm tired, man. Lads cost me too much. I don't know if I can roll with them here. Chargers played bad against the G-men. Pickens for a touchdown. Timmy, is he going to be even on the, is he going to be awake out there? What is wrong? Pickens is so up and down here right now. Chargers have the better coaching staff. Funny, you think about Schottenheimer of Dallas. His dad once was head coach of the Chargers. They went 14-2, and the Chargers fired him for losing in the playoffs. Chargers run Chargers there, I think, for two big trap. Yeah, Chargers good against cupcake teams. Yeah, I don't know. It's still Dak, still got elite receivers, obviously. Hector says Pickens is a dog. I'd put him in the dog house, is what I would do. This guy takes full games off. Okay. All right, Chargers can keep ball control. Look, Hampton is going to have to, he's looked great when he's in there. I wish he was more of a durable back, but maybe he's not. Okay, Chargers money line for Trav. Okay, we're going to move on. Flournoy. Yeah, that one game, remember they had some injuries and Flournoy kind of went off, but he's been very good. Okay, let's move on here. Boy, I was all fired up about this schedule, and some of these games aren't too great. Look at this one. They got some dogs tomorrow, and I mean ugly games. Cincinnati and Miami. These two teams are done. Joe Burrow. Everyone's ready to say, this is Joe Burrow coming off a bad game. This is where you want to roll with him a little bit, but gosh, maybe Joe's kind of seeing the writing on the wall. The fact of you're in Cincinnati, you learn about what the Bengals are all about. Unfortunately, they're not about winning here, so it gets a little bit depressing. And then you're like, man, is my career going to be wasted here? Meanwhile, Miami makes their quarterback change. Look, they're trying to spin it. Maybe it does provide an out here. Maybe you don't want to get Tua killed now, right? So if I don't think Quinn Ewers is better than Tua. Maybe, I don't think this one is for the future here necessarily, but I'm not going to trust the Bengals here on the road to cover either. So I don't think this is a very good game at all. And this has a big total of 48.5. Like Quinn Ewers is going to come out here and throw a couple of touchdown passes maybe. But, let's give him a shot. Hey, he was definitely capable in college. So Miami's been playing very, very well. That can't be ignored, right? I mean, everybody's talking about how they were on that little surge until they lost their last week, in a game that meant a little something against Pittsburgh, and it was over. But they were playing well against bad teams, and they don't get much worse than the Bengals. Try to give Burrow a little bit of, comfort there. Sad story with he wouldn't have played well for any team, but that was a bad performance. And who's to say it won't be another tough game here for him on the road? I'm taking the Dolphins plus the points in this one. Okay, here we go with Burrow's offensive line is a disaster. Hector likes Quinn Ewers here. Bengals money line and over for Andrew. There's no doubt this is the game where you're supposed to say these are the games that Joe Burrow comes back and shakes it all off. Gosh, I mean, why would you even have Joe Burrow playing at this point? He's an injury-prone quarterback. He's your franchise quarterback, and he's still going to be your quarterback, I guess. Okay. Higgins TD, Chase TD. Viral says it's ugly. I'm on the Dolphins here in this one. They've had shown life here, and just because of this late season surge, I think my man McDaniel is gonna keep his job. That was a tough way to go down though against the Steelers. All right, not enough going on in there. Miami covers. Bengals will win. Greg has it close. Let's keep it moving here right now with, where are the games involving the teams of, these are all, teams that are out of the playoff picture. A lot of games like that tomorrow. It's concerning. All right. Got Atlanta, though, here on the road. They're done too, so I don't know. It's kind of tough to get up for it on the road when you're a favorite here. They do seem to be. Both defenses are just terrible here right now. Arizona's home games are consistently track meets here, and this game doesn't mean anything. Atlanta's offense has been quietly decent here this year. It's their defense that's kind of been bad, and as their record suffers, the Falcons continue to kind of get over their team total because they're losing and they're good at chasing points a little bit. And you give Arizona's defensive collapses, of course. And this one, these guys play a bit here, and it goes over usually when these two teams do meet. So I'm going to go over here with these two, Atlanta and Arizona here. I'm not going to trust Atlanta to cover something necessarily on the road. They should, I would think, be a little, the better team here. Just 5-9, of course, coming in. Arizona 3-11 and on a pretty bad losing streak. So Atlanta should be a little bit better, but Atlanta's 1-5 against the spread as a favorite. Arizona's 1-6 against the spread at home. Which one could lose worse? So apologize for these ugly games. Mr. Wesker's on the cards. McBride will have 15 receptions if they know what they're doing, right? Why couldn't Arizona do it? They've got the best offensive player in the game, right? He's better than Bijan. This guy McBride's had a all-pro season. Wrong team favored, says Greg. Cal dog likes the over. Hector says over, I think, as well. Falcons money line and over for Andre's got Robinson for a touchdown, and of course, he likes McBride. Over for Viral. All right. Kick that one to the curb. Now let's get to some important games here. We've still got more to go. The Jaguars are on the road taking on the Broncos in this one. Now we're talking. got two teams definitely headed to the postseason here. Jaguars haven't clinched yet, but looking pretty solid. Can they come in here and a Denver team that yes, they are 12-2 right now in first place and one game clear of the Patriots, but they do still want to win. And they've been, both these teams bring in a great winning streaks right now. Jacksonville's playing great too. I mean, they're 10-4, playing their best football. They've won 5 straight. The defense and forcing turnovers, it makes up, for that offense that, we can make fun of Lawrence. We can say ATN never lives up to expectations, but they've been beating the teams who they're supposed to beat here right now and riding this winning streak. Beat up the Jets, beat the Colts, remember, hammered Tennessee. They won it Arizona, whatever. They covered the spread, beat my Chargers. They've looked great here, and we know Denver doesn't win. They win the game by 1 point. They win the game by 2 points. They have to win this one by 4 to cover this hook. So Denver wins, but does so narrowly, and their trends kind of, favor the underdogs covering going against the Broncos. They're 2-7 against the spread as a favorite. So this one might be decided late. Jacksonville is very consistent on defense, and they're always within. It seems like even when they trail, they stay within it. And then you've got Lawrence. Make fun of him, but he's always good when they're, down by 9 or more, right? Let's see what you have, though. Denver, they're on a roll, but, didn't cover against the Raiders. Remember they played the Raiders at home. It was 10-7. Imagine not being able to beat the Raiders at home by more than 3 points. Now, they did go on the road and beat them by 7, but they didn't cover. Also failed to cover against Washington. They were 0-2 against the Raiders against the spread. That's not good. But they're obviously the Super Bowl contender in the AFC right now, number 1 seed. Here we go with your picks in the chat in this great game. Broncos money line and under for Andre. Cal dog on the Jags. Hector likes Broncos money line. And Andre says, look at that total. It's dropped big time here from 52 down to 47. Still going to take the under with these two, right? Yeah, I mean, I think the thing was, with Bo Nix kind of, and what we've seen, from him and his growth, if you will. It's still, to me, it feels like up and down for Nix a little bit. 1 week he could be strong, and the next week he might be back to a little bit subpar. But it's a beautiful day expected here in Denver. I don't know, why that total would drop so much, but I didn't know it did drop that much, actually. All right, Denver D to smack around Lawrence. Jags in Denver right here, viral. Took the Jags. Mr. Wesker's on the Jags. And there'll probably be some hijinks like all these other games. Duval. Greg says a 2-point game here. He likes the Jaguars there. Maybe a little bit of under. Cal Dog maybe under. Hello, Mr. Satdon. There in the chat. Yeah, I'm going to take the Jags here in this one. Give me Jacksonville to cover this spread in a tight one, in a big one. The Jaguars are still breathing down the necks of these teams a little bit here too, and they're about to clinch with the win they're in, but it can be a tough game. All right. Denver defense will be the difference. Lawrence will be scrambling. Jaguars, they kind of, they not bad. 4-2 on the road. Denver 7-0 at home, of course. Maybe that's let's go to the next one here. The Pittsburgh Steelers, winners of 2 straight, and they're underdogs here in this one. I mean, the Steelers, they feel good right now, and they've got their quarterback confident, playing in meaningful games is what they said, right? And Pittsburgh, look, a win would be important here. They are an underdog, obviously, by a touchdown. They're playing with confidence in those two victories here over Baltimore and Miami. They know they still need it. They're going to come in here with a great effort, I would think, against the Detroit Lions. The Lions obviously desperate here to get a win on the outside looking in. Even if they win, doesn't, it improves their chances here, but nothing's certain. If you look at the big picture, the Lions got to be realistic. They're going to need some help here, but they got to take care of business. And it's just been tough. They're just, they're not great here, obviously, this season. Pittsburgh continues to win ugly. They thrive when the games stay within, a score, and scoring efficiency matters. That's where they kind of thrive. Now, this one, always a chance to get loose when you're talking about the Lions, but they're just too inconsistent right now, Detroit, right? I mean, losing to tough teams, no doubt. They've had a tough schedule, but Pittsburgh's tough too, it feels like right now. Detroit, always great off of losses. We know that. They remain strong at home. But look, they struggle when the opponents kind of limit their explosiveness with the backs and with Brown. So I think Pittsburgh is, if they make it a physical and a competitive game where 7 points is a large cushion for a Steeler team that basically stays within a touchdown every game. Come on. So it could be a rare Pittsburgh over here, I think, in the controlled environment. And Pittsburgh has a chance to maybe even put up some of their best offense of the season. But they look good here. I mean, they've been, other than that Buffalo game where it didn't go their way, I mean, they've been scoring at least 3 or 4 touchdowns in those games. So I like the Steelers to hang in here in this one for sure, getting 7 points. And I think the back door it could be open too, because if Detroit even can get out to that lead, this one might be the DK Pittsburgh. Those tight ends should be an okay game. It feels like for Pittsburgh. Here we go with you guys in the chat. Cal Dog says take them down to 5.5. Make sure you cover that 6. Lions cover everything, says Viral. Steelers got their big win last week. I think that's what he's saying because, yeah, I mean, but they're not totally in here. Only a 75% chance even if they win this game. 50% chance or so if they lose. Gibbs TD for Timmy Tushu, and he likes him to go over. Lions money line, no brainer, says Andre. Greg here, liking the right there. Greg's right on the number in this one. He likes it over, though. I think he likes it over. Hector says over as well. Mr. Wesker's going to put the Lions maybe they're in a money line parlay or just a regular parlay. Lions going to do to Pittsburgh. St. Brown, 2 TDs, Andre. Too much offense for Pittsburgh, and you can't trust Rodgers. Man, I'm reading too much into Pittsburgh a little bit. And Lions will go to the ground game. Like I said, you are going to play with the ultimate, goal here. I just, to me, if you're the Lions, you got to be realistic too. I mean, look, even if we win, we're maybe not going to make it. And maybe they'll be pressuring, and Rodgers will have problems tomorrow, says Andre. Hutch to get 2 sacks. Roger and throw a pick. Detroit has to win. Yep, they do. Steelers do too, in a way. And Timmy's not up with it. He says Rodgers here. This is the game where he'll blow up and then say, "What's going on? Why can't you guys perform here right now?" All right, I got you. I'm going to try him here plus 7 points. I think not going to go down without Rodgers slinging it a little bit. Goff over in his touchdowns for Trav. And Red Wings, hello tonight. And he likes the Lions to crush. Well, we're going back to another Texans. Actually, it's an important game. Look, this is going to clinch it for the Texans here once they win this one convincingly over the Raiders. Raiders, I mean, are they? The Raiders, I mean, their team total here is like, what is it, 12 and a half? I mean, they're not going to score 2 touchdowns, that's for sure. They might get shut out here. The Raiders have already put up 2 of the worst offensive performances this season in NFL modern history. Call it since the turn of the century here for the Raiders. And this is a historically bad team right now. Houston has tremendous momentum coming in. They should win this game handily here. We've already seen the Raiders with some real ugly losses here of late. Houston, meanwhile, is on a tear. Playing like a playoff contender in the AFC, into this one. So Raiders are in trouble here. Houston's rolling with the 6 straight wins and dominating the turnover margin as well. There'll be big time pressure here. The Raiders offense is completely collapsed. They're only averaging 170 yards per game in the last 6 games. So Houston should cover this one easy. They'll likely shut them out here. The Raiders probably get a touchdown somehow. But I got to take the Texans to roll and get into the playoffs here. They might not make it here just yet if they don't win. Even if they win, but are the Raiders going to score a touchdown? That would be my question here. That after losing against Philadelphia on the road last week, 31-0. I'm going to think it's a blowout here for the Texans. All right. And Mr. Weskers ain't going to lay no 14 points here. Money line for Hector. He says, don't sleep on the Raiders. Oh, no. This Raiders team is historically bad right here. Andre says Texans team total over, full game under. And Greg says 31-7 Houston Cal dog. He likes it 35-3 there. Right on this total. Gino to throw a pick. Collins to get off again. Raiders to get shut out again. Just take the Raiders money line, says Hector. And Mr. Wesker's ready for some hockey. Hector says points under. All right, I'm not ready for. I've still got the football game to go here. Sunday night football and a big one with the Patriots taking on the Ravens. The Ravens on that playoff bubble. If they win, they're close to 50% now to get in, but they've got to win. And the Patriots are in no matter what, but they're still trying to stay up close there to a top seed here. But see what you got in this one. Patriots and the Ravens. At least the Ravens do have them at home here. New England's road form, though, has been among the best in the league, really actually elite. That's what I like about the Patriots. And, yeah, you know what? I didn't get that big win out of them, so I still like them over Denver in a neutral or at home, but could be tough on the road to go in there and beat them in the playoffs. I still like the Patriots as the best team in the AFC this season over Buffalo here right now and over the Jags or whoever else. But that thought process of mine takes a hit publicly because of the loss to Buffalo and the great performance by Josh Allen. I admit it, how great he is. But that was the one I wanted. For the Patriots, I wanted them to get that win and try to get this number 1 seed, but this is going to be a little bit tougher now. So let's talk about it, though. Like I said, New England, 5-1 ATS on the road. Baltimore 2-6 ATS at home. Patriots defense is doing a fine job keeping teams down, unless you're Josh Allen. Baltimore's wins have come with some problems offensively, even when they've won. But they usually get up to 23, 24 points in these last few games when they've won. But third down's been a problem, and that just plays to the Patriots' strengths, really. I mean, I feel like I still want to ride with the Patriots here, but maybe I can look to the total in this one. I'll see what you guys have in the chat, because I think there's going to be some support here for Baltimore, because they are on the cusp of being eliminated here with their playoff chances. So if they lose, they still will have a 25% chance or so. But Funny that you think these two, but they've had some higher scoring games here of late for sure. So maybe it'll be. I think it'll probably be high scoring again. I think it actually sets up for points, but I'd rather take a dog in this situation. A lot of comments on this one, of course. Here we go. It was a great game tonight. Mr. Weskers likes the Ravens. Hector likes the Ravens. Red Wings likes the Ravens. Look at this Ravens support. And Andre says Ravens must win. Yeah. They definitely do. Even if they win, I mean, doesn't do anything for them just yet. They'll still be only about 50%. Ravens, everyone's on the Ravens, so I might have to just back off here a little bit of the Ravens. I'll have to go to the total maybe because you guys love the Ravens. Greg loves the Ravens. I mean, I can't go against the great chat all-stars here. Timmy says, well, does he see the Pats +3 here? Is it going down a little bit? Am I trying to give myself an extra half a point here? Yeah, three minus 20, 3.5. Yeah, there it is. Timmy says Pats +3 at even money there a little bit. Baltimore exposes the Patriots like Buffalo. I don't know. Buffalo right now is one of the top 10-4 right now. They're in the playoffs. They're one of the better teams. The Ravens are 7-7, likely not going to the playoffs. I think there's a big class difference right now. Patriots aren't having a great season, particularly defensively. Viral says Patriots Patriots roll, and he says he likes the Patriots -3.5 maybe. No Chiefs and no Ravens. No Lamar, no Patrick. Patriots overrated and overvalued. Patriots are 9-5 against the spread this season. They've been underrated most of the season, I would say. I don't know how you look at it. I use the spread as a kind of the determining factor there. Yeah, the Ravens are the favorites here by 3.5. Jermaine, hi Jermaine. He's got the under. Okay, I'm surprised that Jermaine would be on the under because man, I think I like the over here, but we'll be close, says Hector. Yeah. Oh, okay, you guys. Yeah, I'm sorry, you guys. I see what you're talking about now. So you guys were getting all making fun of me. Hopefully I was describing it right the whole time. I mean, I know who's favored in the game. That's why I like the Patriots plus the points. I knew you guys would never listen to me. You just look at the spread and make your comments. Nobody listens to old Ramon. All right. Well, now that I've fixed it, I got to leave it up here for a second for our little videos. But Baltimore 5-3 to the over at home, 7-5 to the over as a favorite. I know you guys like the Ravens a lot here, so I'm going to go with the over on Sunday Night Football. But just know I'm on the Patriots bandwagon still, and plenty of room here. Who is Tony? It's a great question, Gray. It's a great question, Viral. But tune in here on this channel at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 a.m. Pacific, and you'll meet Tony. All right, Patriots are too efficient for the Ravens right now. And all right, yep, and we fixed it in real time, Timmy. That's it for the NFL card. Thank you guys. Great job. Here, let's go to NBA. It's a big day of sports. I mean, yeah, Saturday was big, but it's still a big day of sports betting action here on Sunday in all the sports, huh? They said, hold my coffee. All right, here we go. Let's go to the NBA here. I got to fold my notes over. There's so many notes. And we'll look at them all, even if there's a couple of not so great games. Started off here with Bulls and Hawks, 3:40 Eastern, 12:40 Pacific. Hawks favored in this one by 4. Total just 247. Maybe it's gone down here a little bit to 246 and a half or 246. Hawks come in here 15 and 14. The Bulls are 12 and 15, but it's the Bulls that won a couple in a row just when they were starting to spiral a little bit with that poor streak. It felt like they started to come through a little bit here with a couple of wins right now. But Chicago's still on a 4-10 ATS run, and Atlanta's had some recent struggles as well. They've lost 2 straight, but maybe at home they could be okay. They're still 4-8 against the spread at home, and Chicago definitely sliding here a little bit. Just 5-9 straight up on the road. Atlanta is 8-6 straight up as a favorite. Chicago's been a great underdog. There's no doubt about it. I mean, they are 10-3 ATS this season. It's been as a favorite where they've really struggled right now. Maybe with this big total here, Atlanta's scoring pace in this series is definitely an over. It's just a monster number here that if you want to get over on this one, they did play to 251 in their meeting back in October. The Bulls won at home and got the money as a 2.5-point dog. Got a few comments from the folks in the chat. And Hector says, if Trae Young is playing, then take the Bulls. Yeah, well, look, that's another issue here because we did see his injury status kind of move a little bit here coming into this one. And yeah, you do have the Hawks here favored by 4 points. Young will play in this game. He says take the Bulls with Young. KP is still out here. Kobe White questionable. Jalen Smith probable. Dosunmu back to probable here in this one. But like I said, Chicago. I mean, this is their role kind of right here for Chicago. So, are they getting it back together right now? Can they cover in this spot? Getting 4.5, even with that 4-10 spread run, maybe they have gotten back to their winning ways a little bit here. I'll just take the over. I think this will be a crazy one. Give me over 247 with the Bulls and the Hawks. Bull, not a lot of talk there. Greg here, he likes the Bulls as well. Viral says, yep, Young is in. Mr. Wesker's on the Hawks. Hawks can't win with Trae, says Andre under for Cal Dog. Trae cost him last game. And let's see, Hawks are better without him, but he's in. Will he get traded? Jimmy and I are going to go with the over. Jermaine says under for Johnson on his points prop. Raptors are going to take on the Brooklyn Nets. Toronto comes in here, winners of 2 of 3. They did lose last time out to Boston, got crushed. Brooklyn, meanwhile, they've won a couple of games here recently over New Orleans and Milwaukee and gotten themselves up to 7 wins. But Toronto, much the better team here, still favored 3.5 on the road only. Total here 219 between these two. And I don't know. I mean, Toronto 2-9 ATS here in their last 11 games. So they kind of own the series against these guys, but they're not looking that great here of late. Toronto has won number of games in a row in this series, no doubt about it, but they're not that great here against the spread right now. Now they are 8-6 against the spread on the road, 7-11 against the spread as a favorite. There's not a lot of positive trends with Brooklyn at all, ATS, but they're 12-14 overall ATS, and they're a dog here a little bit. Maybe this will be the way to go, but this one should be probably a low-scoring game. Brooklyn has some extreme unders at home right now. They're 5-9 to the under overall. Toronto is 6-12 to the under as a favorite. So both these teams are definitely trending under here of late. Several in a row for Toronto right now, and Brooklyn went under in each of their last two games. So I'll take the under here. I kind of want to take this dog, but I'll take the under between Toronto and Brooklyn here on night moves. And to go to the chat with you guys here. Toronto money line for Hector. Greg here, he likes it way over. Greg's got an over for sure in this one. All right. Mr. Wesker says Toronto to cover here on the road. Okay. Two-pick Trav kind of going with the Toronto there. Here's Porter Jr. under. Nets of the points, says Andre. I think I'm kind of with that. Viral here. I'm probably going to try him. All right. Claxton under in his assist. All right. Let's keep it moving here. A lot of games to cover. Heat and the Knicks. Okay. Now we're talking. Heat coming in 15-13, but I've been struggling, no doubt. Did finally pick up a win to end a losing streak over Brooklyn, but then lost to Boston. Did not cover last time out. For the Knicks, they were on a winning streak before losing last time out to Philadelphia, but they were, definitely feeling the fatigue a little bit. So now they're back home where they've been so dominant, 14-2 against the spread at home this season. Miami's been a decent cover, but just 7-6-1 on the road, and of late they have not been a good cover at all. The Knicks have been just strong here at home, and kind of lines up with Miami's recent spread slide, it feels like here. Miami's been on an underrun of late, but this series is kind of an over series. And look, it is pretty high there at, 236.5? That's going to be in jeopardy here. That's a high total to want to get involved with, maybe with these two, especially with the Knicks having some unders here lately. But the series total might kind of carry this one over. I'm just going to lay it here with the Knicks and that incredible spread record at home, 14-2. I'm going to take them to keep it going here right now at -7.5 or maybe even 8. Now we're seeing. And what do we got here in the chat? Okay, the Heat are on a heater, but so are the Knicks. I don't know. The Heat have actually been losing here of late. They've lost, I think, 4 out of the last 5, is it, or 5 out of the last 6? They were looking great before that. Look, I'm like I said, I'm kind of on the Heat this season, but they've definitely given some back here of late. Here's Mr. Wesker's on the Heat. And Greg likes it over here. I think Greg likes the over. Knicks win at home, says Andre. And Timmy said, just take the Knicks and go do something else. OG under here for Jermaine. Viral says the Heat are the better cover here. Or maybe he's saying the Heat better cover this one. I think that's what he's saying. Because, yeah, they're not the better cover, that's for sure. Okay, give me the Knicks in this one. All right, a north battle here with Milwaukee taking on Minnesota. Timberwolves favored here by 12.5. Total 224.5. You got the Wolves coming in here, winners of 3 and 4. They're 18-10 overall. The Bucks have been struggling. They've lost 2 in a row again here now to Brooklyn and Toronto. And man, they're just 11-17, continuing to struggle here. Are the Bucks just 4-8 against the spread on the road so far this season? Uh, Milwaukee, not even not really winning a lot of games, right? They're 3-9 straight up on the road, 5-11 straight up as an underdog. Both teams have been going under quite a bit here lately. Milwaukee 4-8 to the under on the road, and Minnesota's 5-10 to the under at home. But I don't know, at 224.5, I just think Minnesota is probably going to blow them out here. Is what I think. Milwaukee certainly having all these struggles and definitely having a underachieving season. They just lost a game to the Brooklyn Nets here by 45 points the other day, and then did come back and lost to Toronto, but they didn't cover that one either, getting the points. So let's see here. Cal Dog maybe liking the over here in this one, and Greg definitely likes Milwaukee here. Maybe a little bit of the over, but he likes Milwaukee. I'm taking Minnesota here in a blowout, actually. I think they win this one by at least maybe 15 points. I like Minnesota. Greg says they do play better. Minnesota does play better on the road. Yeah, they are 8-5 on the road. They're just a good team, period. It feels like, really, in the end, they're still playing pretty decent here with that 18-10 record. They've won 8 of their last 10 as well. Andre says Wolves on the money line. Nas Reed for Timmy and Edwards live. Mr. Wesker's on the Bucks. He says, Ramon, you got to look. I mean, the Wolves here had a contentious game against OKC. Won a big game at home against them. Really got them jacked up. Oh yeah, that was a great win for them, and they did they got every. I don't want to say every call. There, maybe the Thunder didn't get their calls that they usually get in that one, is what it felt like. The Spurs are taking on the Wizards here on the road. Spurs, big double-digit favorite here, 15.5. Total 239. Spurs are 20-7, winners of 2 straight. Wizards, I almost call them the Bullets. Wizards have won 2 of their last 3. They've covered 3 of their last 4. They're not a great home cover. They're actually just 3-8 ATS, 9-15. ATS is a dog, but they played probably some of their better games of the season here right now. San Antonio, 6-4 ATS on the road in their last 10 games. The Spurs, just playing very, very solid, while Washington has certainly been awful here. Washington home games, though, looking at this total, man, they're 9-2 to the over at home here right now. San Antonio does trend a little bit to the over, but really Washington, these home games, they just can't stop anybody, is what it is. And not to mention, now these two teams don't meet this very often, but they've had a few overs here. Last year, the first meeting, or the second meeting here in Washington, was 131-121. San Antonio did win just a few days ago here, 119-94 at home in that one, and they covered 15.5 in that one. So they covered 15.5 at home, winning by 25. Now they're going on the road, still favored by 15.5. Do you think they can cover it, though? I'll take the over in this one with San Antonio and Washington. Give me the over. All right. Let's see. Devin Chen, let me see here. Took the over there for viral. Going over. And Greg says he likes the Spurs here to get the money. Timmy says Fox to perk up a little bit. How about a little teaser parlay for Cal Dog? Hey, I never mind a little basketball teaser. Don't listen to the, You'd be surprised what tools professionals use. You think they don't they don't do it, but they do it. That's what they tell me anyway. Vassal over. McCollum's been hitting his threes. Wizards plus the points there for Andre. I'll take the over. Here's the Rockets and the Kings, the final game here. And we still got college basketball coming up as well. Man, what a night of sports. Man, we're going to be here still another hour. Hang on, hang in. Rockets and the Kings. Rockets favored by 12 here, maybe 11.5. Total might be up here to 226.5 or so. Sacramento's on a lengthy losing streak. Rockets just snapped a 2-game skid with a win and cover at Denver impressively there last night. So they do have that factor here for Houston, but they're still such a great team. Yeah, they've lost a few, but they've actually been failing to cover too. They're not in their best position here, that's for sure. Sacramento, meanwhile, they haven't done anything with this losing streak. They covered at Portland the other night, but then came back and lost here last night as well at home. So a couple of these teams playing both on the back-to-back. Houston is 10-5 against the spread on the road. Sacramento 2-10 against the spread at home. Do you really want that? Even as good a position it is, I mean, certainly the back-to-back, you think they're, oh, hey, Rockets are playing, but so are Sacramento. So Sacramento's skid, Houston's spread struggles, maybe makes it a buy low spot at a dozen points here in this one. Could you consider it? I don't know. Houston's been going over. The series history is kind of over as well. Houston 10-5 to the over on the road, 14-9 to the over as a favorite. Sacramento's definitely an under team right now, under in 7 of their last 10. But and this series, let's see, they just played 2.5 weeks ago, 121-95. That was an under. Houston got the win and the cover by 15 there. All right, this one's tough. Last game here, Houston and Sac. Let's go to the chat. Then we're going to do some college basketball here. Man. Okay, Rockets against the spread for Mr. Weskers. Kings money line for Timmy. Spurs win, don't cover, Andre. Rockets win and don't cover for Andre. Wait a minute. Andre's oh, that was the other game. I messed up. Cal Dog on the over. Viral is laying it with Houston. And let's see here. Greg there says Sacramento. Who's going to do the scoring for Sacramento? Reed Shepard under here. Hello to Only Bands. Nice to see you. He said, how about the Blues last night? We're going to have the hockey segment here shortly. All right, I guess that's it. I guess I got to make the call. I'll go over here with the Rockets and Sacramento. I'll give you the over in this one. Right, we've got a little college ball to look at here on Night Moves. I've selected a handful of games here to go over, and why not? The Pittsburgh Panthers are going to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions. This one's in Hershey, Pennsylvania. All right. Penn State coming in here 8-3. Pitt coming in here just 6-6. Penn State's lost 2 in a row. Pitt's lost right now 3 of their last 4. They just rocked Binghamton at least last time out coming in. And Penn State, meanwhile, back-to-back losses here in the Big Ten to Michigan State and Indiana. But it's nice of these two teams to get together here on a Sunday and meet up here for a little bit of, a little bit of rivalry action, I guess you could call it. Let me hear from you in the chat. With these two, however, you do have Pittsburgh, at least here, not covering of late, just 3-7 in their last 10. Penn State 1-2 against the spread here as an underdog. Pitt's been sliding, though, here of late, it feels like to me, and both teams been going over here pretty solidly, though, of late. And at 147.5, maybe that could be the way to go here. Anything up in the chat, let me know. Hopefully we picked a few. I got 5 games here, so. All right. Mr. Westers likes Penn State. And Andre likes Pitt. And Greg likes the over here. He likes Penn State and the over. Says Pitt is terrible right now. Yeah, and they did lose to Villanova, Hofstra, and Texas A&M. Hey, hello to Chop Kicks. He likes the under in the early game. I think he means that one right here. Oh, man. We got Chop Kicks in here. And give me Penn State. Give me Penn State in this one. I was going to go with the total, but you know what? Chop Kicks is here. Just gave us the under. I don't want to. I want Chop Kicks in here in the chat. All Stars giving us some picks. I'm going to go with Penn State over Pitt. Next up, Ole Miss taking on North Carolina State. Ole Miss comes in here 7-4. North Carolina State 8-4. This one's in Greensboro, so still kind of a neutral here, even though NC State may have a little bit of a home advantage. NC State has won 3 of its last 4. Mississippi's won 2 in a row with wins over Southern Miss and Alabama A&M, but they didn't cover those. In fact, they're just 1-9, 2-9 against the spread this season. Ole Miss, pretty weak. The NC State hasn't been a great cover either, but they have won 3 of 4. They did get the money against Liberty, covering 12.5. They failed against KU in a loss when they were favored by 2.5 at home, and they didn't cover 38 against Texas Southern, but also failed to cover 28 against Cashville. This one, though, like I said, in Greensboro here. NC State, a pretty reasonable favorite. They're 4-5 against the spread as a favorite. They're not really that great to the number either here so far this season, quite frankly. These two teams do kind of trend over for sure here right now. But, when Ole Miss takes on ACC teams, it usually goes under. Still, these two teams are combined 14-9 to the over so far this season. So let's see what you have maybe in this one with Mississippi taking on NC State here on Sunday. I'm going to go over I'm going under, by the way. That is my pick at 145. All right, here we go. Cal Dog liking NC State. Chop Kicks likes NC State to roll. Here, Mississippi for Greg. Andre likes NC State, and Viral likes the over. I'm on the under in this one. Mississippi and NC State. All right. We're just cruising through these, but here we go. You got undefeated Vanderbilt coming in here, ranked 13th. They're 11-0. Wake Forest comes in 9-3. They're at home here. We're in Winston-Salem. No neutral here, but Vanderbilt scorching hot. Now, they have failed to cover in their last 2 games, but they're still 6-2 against the spread as a favorite. They just failed as favorites against Central Arkansas and against Memphis on the road. Remember, they were laying 9.5. That was a little daunting. Still, for Wake Forest, 3-0 against the spread as an underdog, but 3-6 against the spread at home. Vanderbilt is 3-1 to the over on the road. See if you guys have any interest in this one with Vandy and Wake. Wake, just kind of dominant recently at home against the spread, but have given a few up here for sure so far. 6 failures at home against the spread. They just failed laying 25 to Longwood in a 3-point win. They also failed laying 17.5 to Northeastern in a 13-point win here. But maybe, just maybe, because of the fact that they are a home dog here, maybe against this undefeated team, maybe that will help them out. Like I said, they are perfect as an underdog ATS so far. I think if you look at maybe here, that's a big total, man. I get it, man. Vanderbilt's had some high scores here, but I think it's a pretty good game. I might take the total. Let's see what you have in the chat. All right. Bandy are big and good, Timmy says. Dandy Bandy, buy it down. Lay 3.5, says Cow Dog. Wake Forest here for Greg. Maybe he likes it over as well. Wake for Andre. Wake for Mr. Westeros. Timmy Two Shoes likes Vandy. Andre takes the points. Greg says Wake in the over. And the Bible likes, man, you guys like it. All right, well, I'm going to have to stick to my under here in this one with Bandy and Wake. I've got it under 159.5. But, interesting, getting points at home with Wake where they can be dominant against the spread, especially when getting points. I know it hasn't worked out this year, but that's maybe because Wake's been laying some big points to some non-conference teams. Now they're getting in here as a dog. So I'll just take the total right now under. Only Band says Bandy money line at home. Bandy's better at home. All right. Cincinnati and Clemson. This one's in Greenville. So, yeah, it's still Clemson country here, but Cincinnati comes in. They're getting 6 points to the Tigers here in this one. This one's at 3 Eastern and noon Pacific. Got Clemson coming in here at 9-3 right now. Cincinnati 7-4. Clemson has won 2 straight winners over Mercer and South Carolina, but they didn't cover. They were laying big numbers there. Cincinnati comes in off of a blowout win over, I think it was it Alcorn? Covered 21.5 before that. They were not covering anything. Cincinnati's been a dreadful cover this year, 3-8 against the spread, 0-3 against the spread as an underdog. Clemson, meanwhile, 6-6 ATS, 4-6 ATS as a favorite coming into this one. Cincinnati's been an under for sure, 3-8 to the under so far this season. Take a pick if you want in the chat here in this one. Clemson pretty consistent here, even when favored, but it seems like every year with these two teams, especially, just lower scoring games here. Let's see what you got in the chat. Okay, Cincy for Timmy Two Shoe, and let's see here. I think under for Chop Kicks. Cincinnati here for sure for Greg. Andre likes some Cincinnati in the points as well. Mr. Wesker's on Cincinnati. Cal Dog, Cincinnati. Says Clemson. Mr. Wesker says Clemson is a failure. Failed operation. They did cover as a dog against BYU and Alabama, but they lost those games. Clemson for Timmy. You guys love, there's a little bit of Clemson backing there. All right, I'm going to go against the group. I'll take Clemson here. Kind of like the total, but I might use it as a premium. So I'm taking Clemson to cover this spread against Cincinnati. Not doing a great job for sure. ATS, I think they are overrated, but you guys like them here. They had failed. They failed against EMU. They lost to EMU. They lost to Xavier in a pick'em. They failed against Georgia, losing by 19. Cincinnati could win, says Greg. Okay, I've got one more. It's kind of a blowout game, but I think we can look at it here. Noon, 6 Eastern, noon, 3 p.m. Pacific with Gonzaga favored by 12 and a half here, taking on Oregon. This one's being played in Portland. So, this is, it feels like neutral to me. Feels like neutral. The kennel will be there. It's going to be a good atmosphere, that's for sure. Gonzaga, of course, here coming in right now, still looking so strong here to start the season. 11-1, ranked seventh. Oregon comes in just 6-5 right now, kind of unfamiliar territory. Gonzaga 6-3 ATS as a favorite. Oregon's 0-4 ATS as an underdog so far this season. They've not looked good, that's for sure. Gonzaga not only winning but covering. It feels like a lot of these games. Now they did just fail against UCLA and Campbell. They covered a big number to North Florida. They covered against Kentucky. Uh, uh, Oregon, continues to play in high-scoring games. That might just play right into Gonzaga's hands. It feels like these two teams haven't met in 6 years. Oregon 7-4 to the over this year. Gonzaga's trended under here for sure right now. And let's see what we got. Greg may be leaning Gonzaga here. What's happened to Oregon basketball here, right? Oh yeah, what's going on there? Thanks. They have these delay here on and it pops off the screen or something. I don't know. Maybe that was me. I like Gonzaga here to rock over Oregon. Oregon definitely not the Oregon we're used to. It feels like here right now, and with that 0-4 underdog record against the spread so far, just 2-9 against the spread overall. Gonzaga, you think of them as often laying a lot of points, sometimes too many points, but still 8-4 ATS this season. I'll take Gonzaga. I think Mr. Wesker's on Gonzaga. I mean, they did, after all, crush Kentucky. Gonzaga wins, but Ducks cover for Andrew. And it says that the Ducks getting a little bit healthier here right now. That's been part of the problem with the Ducks and their start so far this season. And, the thing is, the reason we put in this game here is that you'll be watching this one kind of right in the middle of the NFL window. This one will be coming to an end. This game will end at 5 p.m. or so, right? That last, 45 minutes when Hansen kicks us off the red zone, says we got to go watch our local because the last blowout game, you got to catch it. No, we'll just go over to this game. Oregon couldn't beat USC, says Greg. Got some props in here. Lay it. Cal Dog on the Zags. That's it for college basketball. Thank you, Chop Kicks, today. I know Chop Kick has been with us a couple times. All right. We're going to go next to, we got some hockey action tonight, and we got quite a few games. Get ready. Here on Night Moves. We're making it through, though. Great card. Thank you for being here. Man, we only got we got 50 in here tonight. Last night we had 150, but it was a great night, wasn't it? All right, Washington and the Red Wings will get us started here with the Caps on the road, going up against the Red Wings. Talbot in here. A lot of these some of these teams playing back-to-backers for sure. Washington 19-12-4. They come in, of course, off of a loss yesterday to Detroit, 5-2. So they're going to meet right back here in Detroit. Last night's game was at Washington, and it did get out of hand there with the 5-2 win in that one. Capitals were $1.55 favorite last night. We were on the under in that game. Man, that didn't pan out. But go ahead if you want to make your picks here. I'm welcoming you into the chat to do so. Detroit still has won 6 of their last 8 games overall coming in, and Washington still struggling too. They're just 1-4 straight up in their last 5 games. Uh, I think there's reason to think that yeah, there were 7 goals yesterday, but still, I think it feels like under. I know I got burned there, so um, maybe also a lot of these games, a lot of competitive lines here. It feels like tonight, near Pick'ems a little bit. So look, Thompson got beat there last night. Now you got to go here to Lindgren and Detroit. Yeah, Cap's got the revenge. I'm going to take Detroit to win it again. I'm going to take them to sweep these 2 games right now. Give me the Red Wings here off the 5-2 road win last night at Washington. I'm going to come back and take them again here tonight. AOD, hello. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming over here. Thank you, AOD, tonight. Okay, Timmy says take Washington to get back on him here. And Cal Dog's going back to Washington too. And Andre is going to go to the Red Wings, though. Timmy's got Wilson to score. Mr. Wesker's had the Blues in that Blues game last night. Here's 3-2 Red Wings for Greg. Cal Dog said, look at all those goals on in the games there on Saturday.
Urgent message.
Okay. Luka is going to be questionable after leaving that game with a leg injury. It's coming through here at the middle of the night, but getting an update on Luka. All right, give me the Wings here. Colorado Avalanche on the road. Hey, they've tasted defeat a couple times, but they're still 25-2-7. They keep getting it done somehow, even against Winnipeg the other night. Yeah, it took a close one again, but they still were able to win. We had Winnipeg, though, on the puck line. They've won 4 straight. Minnesota here, though, on a roll as well. This is an awesome matchup here. These 2 teams met on November 28th. Minnesota won 3-2, so one of the few losses that Colorado has. And here you have Minnesota at home again with the Wall of St. Paul up there. And now you got to go to Blackwood here. $1.55 for the Avalanche in this one. See what you have here. This is a game of the day for sure. 2 of the top teams in the Western Conference. Don't forget about Dallas and maybe Vegas or LA or whoever, but these guys are going strong. Colorado's actually dominated this head-to-head series for the most part, but over the last couple, it's been Minnesota. In fact, Minnesota's won 3 of the last 5. Usually Colorado's gotten the win on the road, but not lately, as Minnesota's kind of flipped the script a little bit. Minnesota's recent trending over, over a little bit of late. Man, there's going to be you'd think maybe some goals here. I know Colorado's an under, but let's see what you guys have in the chat in this one. What a game this will be. This one's the game of the day. Game of the night. 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific in this one. I'm taking Minnesota. I don't care. I'm on Minnesota. This is going to be the 3rd loss for Colorado. I like Minnesota here strong. Okay. Timmy, we want no, I don't know about that. No bells and whistles tonight. Couple. I mean, we've got this thing going off over here, but Wild to do it again, says Cal Dog. Colorado for Greg. McKinnon to score, says Only Bands. Nice to have Only Bands. How are those goalies, says Only Bands here. Kaprizov to score. And Wallstedt, Wallstedt's been amongst the best goalies in the league for sure since coming up. I mean, he's really replaced a guy in Gustafson, who was, he's definitely decent and, a great number 2 guy. Nobody knew that Wallstedt was going to come in here, though, and do what he's been doing, and it feels legit. So we'll see here how it goes for Wallstedt moving forward. I mean, it's going to be hard to keep up his great success that he's had so far this season. And some of the sites are showing that Wallstedt is confirmed here. He's 10-1-2 with a 1.95 goals against and 93.5% save percentage. Both these Colorado goalies have been, solid. Wedgwood is more solid, but I think we get Blackwood here in this one. It's either Wedgwood or Blackwood. Wild playing good hockey. Colorado's a no-brainer for Greg. Another McKinnon ATG. And I'm taking the Wild here in this one. Jimmy says it'll be close. All right, we're running it back here with these two. We're running it back Sunday here. Canadians and Penguins here. These two teams just met yesterday as well. It was the Canadians winning at home in a low-scoring game there yesterday as Montreal got the win. Now we flip it here. Now, Fowler did get the start last night. I had Dobbish in there, but Fowler eventually got the start, so surely Dobbish will be in there in this one. Pittsburgh continues to lose games right now. They're one of the coldest teams in the league here. Another loss last night to Montreal, 4-0. They've been outscored 8-0 in their last 2 games, losses on the road to Ottawa and Montreal. Montreal's won 2 straight. They beat Chicago before winning the game over the Penguins here last night. So that's something to consider. They're coming right back here and playing tonight in Pittsburgh, whereas yesterday's game was in Montreal. Pittsburgh's losing streak right now is tough to ignore, even if they've got the instant revenge here. These two teams tend to go under when they play in Pittsburgh, and they kind of go under in general for the most part. Now, I know there was a 9-2 game last season that Pittsburgh won, but Montreal's won 3 straight meetings between the two teams here right now, and the way Pittsburgh's going, I don't know if I can recommend them here. Here is Penguins for Mr. Wesker. Scal Dog likes the under. Canadians for Andrew. Montreal for Jermaine. Pens win, says Timmy Two Shoes. 4-2 Pittsburgh, says Greg. Says it's a get-right game here now for Pittsburgh, finally to end that long losing streak. They are 8-8 at home this season. They're still 22-12. Pretty strong record. Or I'm sorry, 14-11. I was thinking I had the puck line numbers there I was reading. Okay. Pittsburgh, ever since they played the overseas trip, I guess it was a disaster. Okay, yeah, Pittsburgh 14-11-9, Montreal 19-12-4. Montreal very solid on the road, 9-3. I'm coming back here with Montreal again. I'm going to take them to sweep this 2-game set. Rangers and Predators here. As Rangers are on the road now. We know what to do, right? Still hard to ignore until this becomes not a trend. I mean, what are you going to do? Rangers winners of 2 straight here now. They did just win at home against Philadelphia last time out. Rangers 13-5 on the road right now. Nashville 6-17 as an underdog. Rangers are favored here at $1.15, $1.20 or so. Clearly the favorite. Make no mistake. Rangers in road games in Nashville, they usually win this one too when these two teams have met, although Nashville did win the last meeting last year 2-0 here at home. But Rangers won before that 4-3. Rangers have won the last two meetings, including that meeting in New York back in November, 6-3. But usually these two teams are unders, but it has gone over in two of the last four meetings between the two teams. New York's been very reliable on the road, man, and pretty solid against Nashville actually here. Yeah, let's see here. 4-3 Rangers. Predators had fun today. They had their fun today, right? Beating up on Toronto 5-3 at home here. So another home game though. And here come the Rangers. Rangers. Everybody's on the. I'm going to go with the chat. Give me the Rangers in this one. I'll take the Rangers on the road once again. Got to keep rolling with these guys. More Rangers. I'm just going with the chat in that one. Winnipeg on the road here, taking on the Utah Mammoth. Winnipeg coming in here with a record of 15-17-2. Utah's 17-17-3. Winnipeg struggled somewhat here as an underdog, man. They're 1-9 straight up as a dog. Utah 8-6 at home coming into this one. So, pretty tough here. Winnipeg not good as a dog here. 7-10 on the road straight up. But despite their struggles, Winnipeg has kind of long dominated this franchise long-term and historically. Even on the road, Winnipeg has done well against this club. Utah home games, have been going over here of late. And also, this series kind of trends toward high-scoring games, although the last two games did go under. They did meet back in October, 3-2. The Mammoth won that one. So let's see what you have here with the Jets and the Mammoth. The NHL to close out the show here. Having a great time with you guys tonight. Wow. All these games. I'm going with my first total here, and I've got the under here in this one. Like I said, the last two did go under. Both Utah wins here. And look, with Winnipeg's a poor record right now, considering on the road 1-9 as an underdog, I got to think it's a low-scoring game here, and maybe it is going to be the Mammoth. But I'll take the under in this one. Andre's on Utah here. Timmy's on the Jets. Greg says Mammoth 4-1. That's kind of right where I might be too. Connor for a goal. Cal Dog is channeling his, I think he's channeling Sesame Street right there. Three of the things belong to one of these are doing their own thing. I don't know if that's what it is. But Tremaine says the Mammoth. Cal Dog Jets and under. Mammoth and under there for Greg. Maple Leafs and Stars here on Sunday. Toronto coming into this one with a record of 15-14-5. Dallas 24-7-5. Big favorite here for Dallas. Dallas comes in here with a record of 7-21 as a puck line favorite. Toronto 7-5 as a puck line underdog coming into this matchup. Toronto's completely owned Dallas on the road, right? Recently, in recent years, won here last year 5-3, won here the year before 5-4, or won here the year before 4-1, and won here the year before that 4-0. This has just been a great stop for Toronto, and this might be a spot where you got to consider them here, even with this puck line, not exactly cheap, but I'd probably try to play the puck line here in this one with Toronto. But let's see how you have it. It is minus $1.45, so you may balk at that. But looking at the total, I mean, strong under trends for Toronto, it feels like right now. But they still are, over team long term because of that long streak. We know Dallas 7-10 to the under at home, 12-16 to the under as a favorite. I'm just going to take Toronto here on the puck line and sprinkle them a little money line. Maybe take them +1. How's that? I'm going to take Toronto here +1 tonight against the Stars. Okay. Cal Dogs on the over. Andre says Dallas puck line. Greg likes Dallas to win as well. All right. Well, we're not in agreement there. I'm taking Toronto to maybe even get an upset here of Dallas. Sabres on the road taking on the Devils. Pekka Luukkonen in goal. The Sabres 16-14-4. New Jersey 20-14-1. Buffalo's one of the hottest teams in the league here right now, on fire. Came in off the win over the Islanders last night at home, 3-2. Devils did have the night off, though, coming in off of a 2-game road trip out west. And they won at Vegas and at Utah. They're playing well as well right now, are the Devils. Uh-oh, where's the graphic here? There we go. Oops. There we go. So the Devils $1.35 coming into this one here against Buffalo. Buffalo, certainly struggles on the road. I mean, they're 5-9 straight up overall. Maybe tilts it a little bit in favor of New Jersey because they are 10-6 at home. But this Buffalo streak right now is hard to ignore with these wins. They not only beat the Islanders last time out, they beat Philly, they won at Seattle, won at Vancouver, won at Edmonton. They were sweeping those Northwestern teams and playing really good right now. Devils have won 3 of the last 4 meetings between the two, including back in November. The Devils won 5-0 in Buffalo. Both teams kind of trending to the under here, especially New Jersey. 7-10 to the under at home, 8-11 to the under as a favorite. And let's hear from you maybe in this one. Coming down to the end of our show. Thanks for joining me here. I'm taking the under in this one with Buffalo and New Jersey. We got here. Right, Jimmy? Maybe give Ramon a day off there for once. Andre on the Sabres here. Yeah, maybe the Sabres, huh? Thanks, you guys. We're cruising through. We're almost done, so I'm just going to get the final few games here. Senators on the road taking on the Bruins. Here, a lot of these are 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific tonight. Ottawa 17-13-4. Bruins 20-15-1. Ottawa coming here winners of 3 straight over Winnipeg, Pittsburgh, and then Chicago. Ottawa's playing great too. Ottawa and Buffalo, hottest teams in the league. Well, except for the good teams. Boston, meanwhile, dropped a couple in a row at home to Edmonton and Vancouver here. They're in a little bit of a slump. Still 12-6 at home for Boston here. And look, Boston's a considerable underdog in this game, despite kind of being a pretty solid team. That's how hot this Ottawa team maybe is right now. But still, I think that Boston home record makes them pretty live here. I would think right now. Ottawa has won 3 of the last 4, but Boston, those were at home. Boston did win at home 3-2 back in November. They also won here back last January. I got to take Boston here at a little plus money. Ottawa's hot. Yeah, Boston's lost some here, but I'm going to try them in this one. Boston's home games against Ottawa always seem to be low scoring here, and that might be the other way to look because, both teams kind of look over, but in the series it's an under, and this one could be an under. I'm going to take Boston, though, in this one. All right, Pasta for a goal, Cal Dog under, Andre Boston, and Greg likes Boston as well. Let's do the last game of the night. What a great show, you guys. just because of you guys. But the Golden Knights can take on the Oil here in Edmonton. Wow, good one here to wrap it up. BGK 16, 7, and 10. Edmonton comes in 17, 13, and 6. And they're at home, so got to give them some respect here in this one. But BGK, anytime I can get a little plus money, that probably might be the way that I would look. Anyway, let's take a look. Vegas here, they've definitely been struggling here. They've lost 2 straight to New Jersey and Calgary. Every game has been a struggle. Still, they are 9-3 on the road this season, but 1-2 as an underdog. Only the 4th time they've been an underdog all season. Edmonton still 8-3 at home. Here, they're not the best favorites in the world at 15-13, but did come in off of a loss at Minnesota last time out. But they were on a long road trip, and now they're back home here in this one. But I'm taking Vegas on the road here to get it done. Take Vegas here plus $1.15 or so. All right. And let's see here. Hart confirmed, says Cal Dog. Okay, yeah, for Hart coming into this one, you got 2.26 goals against, 302, 3 wins, no, 3. Hart's been decent so far. I can't spit it out, so we'll just leave it. All right, Andre, go. We gotta go. Let's go. Say what you want because we're gonna wrap it up and see if I can answer it. I don't know. I might have to type it into Chat GPT. Oilers here for Greg. Hart's going to get beat up in Edmonton. Cal Dog on the Oilers. Andre is on the Knights puck line. Tell you what, we'll give him a second to put that question in the chat there, and I'm going to go over to Tony'sPicks.com. This is where you get my premium picks here for Sunday. We're going to be rolling here. I'm going to have some props for the night game. I'm going to have a little bit of action as well. Go over to Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 15% off the premium pick packages here for Sunday, including mine in the NFL and more. Check us out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Check out the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot. Let's take a look and see who the hot cappers were on Saturday over at Tony's Picks. Look at Racy, 14-2. Congratulations to David on an outstanding day. Wow. Also, Justin, 5-2. He's 24-12 over the last 7 days. Great job, Justin, as well. Solo, 9-5. Vegas Al 5-3. Make sure you're checking Vegas Al out here. 9 Eastern, midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific with his show every day as well. Does a great job on that show. Ron Crawford up there last 7 days doing a great job. Check the guys out over at Tony'sPicks.com and use that promo code Tony T at checkout. Save 15%. And like I said, just check out the games coming up here on the ticker and get involved here at Tony'sPicks.com. All right. It's going to do it here for Night Moves. Really appreciate you being here. We'll be back tomorrow. And yeah, we're getting ready for the holiday week. So, all right. What did Andre say there? Yeah. Oh, good question, Andre. I don't. I think maybe there is. I don't know. Maybe you can't kick it out of the new landing zone, right? But an onside kick, really, it just means, right? Can't I kick a little blooper and try to cover it over there? I just have to get the ball, so I don't think you can limit them on how far you can kick it. Because what does an onside kick really mean? It means it has to go 10 yards there, right? So that is very, very interesting, right? Because if so, then I want, what I would start doing is declaring an onside kick every time. Is that what you're suggesting? Why not kick an onside? Say, we're kicking an onside kick. So maybe there is a kicking zone for the onside kick that you got to kick it in, or maybe you can't kick it into the deep zone. I would type it into Chat GPT and it'll give you the answer. Otherwise, I would do it. We got to get out of here. Thank you for everything, though, Andre, with all your contributions in the show. All right, I'll be back tomorrow with more Night Moves. So appreciate everybody joining me here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, the 50,000 subscriber juggernaut. We'll be back tomorrow with more here on Night Moves. For Tony'sPicks.com, I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Night Moves.